Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to quickly draw trig functions using a calculator. So we're going to use the example trig function here. F at x is equals to 2 sine x minus 3, and the interval is x is an element of 0 to 360, meaning that you should start at 0 up to 360. Now the first thing that you need to know when you see a graph, a sine graph, the interval is 90 degrees. That means in every 90 degrees there's a change. The sine graph and the cos graph, both of them, the interval is 90 degrees. The tan graph, the interval is 45 degrees. So you go to your graph, you write 90, 180, 270, 360, depending on the interval that they've given you there. Okay, and then let me show you what you do. We're gonna say 2 sine, and then the first degree is 0. Then we put 0 degrees, then we close the bracket, then the formula is set minus 1. Then we're gonna get the x value, the y value. When x is 0, y is negative 3. Then we go to your graph and put that coordinate there. Then go back in your calculator, delete the 0, put the next one, it's 90. When x is 90, y is negative 1. The coordinate will be there. Then go to your calculator, go back. You just do that. Then you put the 180. Then you get negative 3. When x is 180, y is negative 3. Okay, and then we continue with the other. And after you have all the coordinates, then you join them. You just take and write, because it's a curvy graph, you just draw, and my interval is up to there. That's how you do your graph. If it's a tan graph, you do 45, 45, 45, 45, then you do the same procedure. And then when it's a tan graph with the asymptote, it will tell you undefined, then you know that value is an asymptote. Okay, let's use this graph to answer the following questions. This question is asking us, what is the domain of the graph? The domain is the x values. The x values, you look at where your graph covers the x values, but all the time, the interval that they've given you, that's your domain. So number 1, x is an element of 0, starting from 0 up to 360. That's your domain. Number 2, what is your range? Your range is your y values. So you'll say y is an element of, then you go to your graph, you write the lowest value of y, which is minus 5, and then the highest value of y in this graph is minus 1. And then you use square brackets because these values, minus 5 is included, is part of the graph. Then the third one, they say calculate what is the amplitude. The amplitude is always the highest y value, which is minus 1, minus the lowest y value, which is plus 5, divided by 2. So that will be fraction minus 1 plus 5 divided by 2. That will be 2. Now, something with an amplitude. The amplitude is, you can also get from the equation, is the a value, but it's always positive. If you get a negative, you just take that value. That will be your amplitude. Then the last question is the period. The period, you memorize the period. The period of the sine graph and the cos graph is 360. Unless they have changed k. Unless they've changed k, it's always 360. And for the tan graph, it's always 180. So this is how you do your graph. You can go to a channel and find the tan graph. We've done the drawing for the tan graph as well.